Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV, the perfect show to kickstart your day, bringing you the top national, international, business and sports stories. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you. Let us begin with the headlines. Finance Minister to attempt to build a consensus over the Goods and Services Tax Bill. Arun Jaitley to hold meeting with state finance ministers in Delhi today. Proposed amendments to be discussed. In a landmark order, Supreme Court allows rape survivor to terminate 24-week pregnancy. Apex Court allows a rape victim to abort after medical board recommends termination of fetus. Worst mass killing in Japan since the end of the World War II. 19 people have been killed in a knife attack at a care center for people with mental disabilities. Former employee of a care facility admits to killings. Democrats' pursuit of unity falters on first day of the convention. Sanders backers revolt on raucous opening day at the Democratic Convention. Speakers struggle to carry out business as angry Sanders supporters roar their disapproval. The big story this morning: in an attempt to build a consensus over the Goods and Service Tax Bill, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will hold a meeting with the state finance ministers in the national capital today. Arun Jaitley will discuss the proposed amendments to the GST bill, which is likely to be listed for discussion in the Rajya Sabha, following the finance minister's consultations with the empowered committee of state finance ministers. Meanwhile, the Congress has blamed the internal differences within the BJP for the non-passage of the GST bill.
I say this with a full sense of responsibility and knowledge that there is internal differences of opinion within the BJP. मुझे ये भी पता चला कि उत्तर प्रदेश के चुनाव के पहले अगर जीएसटी लाया जाएगा तो इस पर इन्फ्लेशन की मुसीबत हमें सहना होगा। तो इस पर आप बोलते जाइए और कांग्रेस को दोषी ठहराते जाइए।
Meanwhile, in more Parliament news, the government on Monday reiterated its commitment on reservation after the issue was raised by the opposition members in the Lok Sabha. Here are the details. Raising the issue of OBC reservations during 0 hour in the Lok Sabha on Monday, the RJD and SP accused the government of using the creamy layer formula as a tool to strangulate OBC candidates by denying them entry into top services in the IS and IPS. Members claimed that following the implementation of the 7th Pay Commission recommendations, children of government employees working in the lower level cannot make it to civil services as the income criteria in the creamy layer formula creates hindrances.
ओबीसी आरक्षण में क्रीमी लेयर का सहारा लेकर यूपीएससी में पिछड़े वर्ग के छात्रों के भविष्य के साथ अन्याय किया जा रहा है। अब बड़े साजिश के तहत, सेट एजेंडा के तहत ओबीसी के आरक्षण को समाप्त करने की घनघोर साजिश जो है इस देश में हो रहा है। जो यूपीएससी के रिजल्ट होने के बाद डीओपीटी मिनिस्ट्री ने, जो प्रधानमंत्री जी के अंडर में आता है, उस मिनिस्ट्री ने जिस तरह से इंटरप्रिटेशन किया क्रीमी लेयर का, मैं अध्यक्ष जी कह सकता हूं कि देश के तकरीबन 60% जो देश के पिछड़े हैं, उन पिछड़ों के साथ कांग्रेस ने भी पहले गलत किया और बीजेपी उससे ज्यादा गलत कर रही है अध्यक्ष जी।
Home Minister Rajnath Singh, however, rejected the charge, saying that the centre is committed towards reservation for OBCs and assured that he was ready to get the issue examined to clear any confusion. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anand Kumar also said that the government is ready for any change in the formula.
वह जानकारी इसलिए मांगी जाती है ताकि इसलिए जानकारी मांगी जाती है कि आप क्रीमी लेयर की इसके अंतर्गत आते हैं कि नहीं आते हैं, ताकि भविष्य में दूसरे कैंडिडेट्स कोर्ट में न चले जाएं और मामला लिटिगेशन में न फंस जाए। केवल इसलिए केवल जानकारी मांगी जाती है, इसके अतिरिक्त और कुछ नहीं होता। यह एक पॉलिसी डिसीजन है और किसी भी हमारे ओबीसी के कैंडिडेट्स को किसी प्रकार की कोई क्षति नहीं पहुंचने पाएगी।
जैसे जयप्रकाश नारायण यादव जी ने और धर्मेंद्र यादव जी ने यहाँ चित्र खड़ा किया, ये सच्चाई से पूरा दूर है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी और नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी के नेतृत्व वाली एनडीए पूरा ओबीसी के आरक्षण के बारे में हम कटिबद्ध है।
The BJP demanded that the National Commission for Backward Classes should be granted constitutional status to give it more teeth in tackling cases of violation of OBC rights. KC Venugopal of the Congress party also raised the issue of inflation and demanded a short duration discussion on the issue. This is Ravindra Shioran's report for Rajya Sabha TV. And the government aims to save 40,000 crore rupees on account of lower coal imports this fiscal. Coal Minister Piyush Goyal informed the Rajya Sabha on Monday that increased supply of coal has made India a power surplus nation. Apprising the upper house on coal reserves during question hour, Coal Minister Piyush Goyal said that India reduced its import bill of the dry fuel by more than 24,000 crore rupees in the last fiscal. Goyal asserted that the domestic production of thermal coal would soon result in complete import substitution. He added that no thermal power plant at present is facing a shortage of coal.
आज देश पावर सरप्लस है और जो कमी हाइड्रो में आई उसको हमने कोयले के उत्पादन से बिजली से बढ़ा के उसको पूरा किया और देश में जितनी बिजली जो राज्य चाहता है उसको हम देने के आज स्थिति में आ गए हैं.
Responding to another query on liquidation of coal stock, Goyal said that after the Supreme Court judgment cancelling coal blocks, e-auctions have increased transparency in allocation of coal blocks to private players.
Traditionally, they were being given coal at the notified price without a due process. After the Supreme Court judgment cancelling 204 coal blocks, this government in its wisdom thought it is necessary to bring the highest standards of transparency.
India's coal reserves are estimated at about 301.56 billion tons. The reserves were predominantly in Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana and Maharashtra. Coal-based electricity generation accounted for almost 85% of the total electricity produced in India during the April to February period in financial year 2015-16. This is Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV. On to some other news, and in a landmark order, the Supreme Court on Monday allowed an alleged rape survivor to terminate her 24-week pregnancy due to an abnormal fetus. Now, citing the report submitted by a Mumbai-based hospital's medical board, the apex court said that the continuance of pregnancy could endanger the life of the mother. The panel said that the fetus is suffering with the grave medical abnormalities with no skull and the liver and intestines growing outside the body. Attorney General Mukul Rohtgi, appearing for the centre, clarified to the apex court that the current ceiling of 20 weeks under the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act does not apply if there is a danger to the life of the mother. Rohtgi further argued that the ceiling has been put to avoid the misuse of feticide. The petition filed in the matter has also challenged the constitutional validity of abortion laws in India. The petition argued by senior advocate Colin Gonsalves say that the current laws deny women's rights to abort in cases of extraordinary medical complications.
As per the Supreme Court order, we were been ordered to examine this patient and give whatever the findings. So our board really examined her not only in terms of obstetric, but they also examined her sonologically, what was the kind of condition of the child and her pregnancy. At the same time, we also got a psychiatric evaluation by our HOD secretary, and we also looked at it from the anesthesia point of view. And we gave our report to the Supreme Court.
And in news from Jammu and Kashmir, where parts of the valley remained under curfew for the 17th day in a row on Monday, paralysing normal life in wake of widespread violence over the killing of militant Burhan Wani. Curfew remained in force in 5 districts of Anantnag, Kulgam, Pulwama, Shopian and Baramulla as security forces stopped a protest march by separatists to Anantnag town from Srinagar. Police also detained separatist leaders Syed Ali Shah Gilani and Mirwais Umar Farooq to avoid any untoward incident. Now, mobile internet services and train services remain suspended for the 17th day in the valley. However, mobile services were restored in Jammu. Now, Srinagar Muzarafra birth service also resumed after 2 weeks of unrest. And there is no news of the missing military aircraft, even as the coordinated search carried out by the Navy, Army and the Coast Guard continued on 4th day on Monday. No hope of finding the 29 personnel on board the AN-32 aircraft in the Bay of Bengal receded, as no survivor or debris were located despite a massive search and rescue operation. The aircraft went off the radar 16 minutes after taking off from the airbase near Chennai on way to Port Blair on 22nd of July. Now, 13 ships from the Navy and 4 Coast Guard ships along with 18 aircrafts, which have done a total of over 250 hours of sorties, are engaged in one of the biggest search operations of the recent times. Well, at least 4 people have died in the last 24 hours as the flood situation worsened in 3 districts of West Bengal. Now, more than 58,000 people have been affected in 150 villages of Jalpaiguri and Cooch Behar districts. Meanwhile, in Assam, Chief Minister Sarbanand Sonowal took stock of the measures taken by the Deputy Commissioners of 16 flood-affected districts of the state. Over 6.41 lakh people are affected from the latest wave of flood across more than 1,200 villages in 14 districts. More than 20,000 people have taken shelter in 80 relief camps established by the government. Flood situation continued to be critical in neighbouring Arunachal Pradesh as well, as the National Highway 52 was submerged, rendering more than 100 families in the nearby villages homeless. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the second phase of the Rashtrapati Bhavan Museum in the presence of President Pranab Mukherjee and Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari yesterday. The inauguration of the museum marked the completion of 4 years of President Pranab Mukherjee as the head of state. Now, the museum will be new home to around 2,000 artifacts that will tell the tale of Rashtrapati Bhavan and the Presidents of India, and will be open for public from 2nd of October. Now, speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister called President Mukherjee a guardian and a mentor.
मैं दिल्ली की दुनिया में नया था, इस सारा माहौल मेरे लिए नया था। ऐसे समय राष्ट्रपति जी ने एक गार्डियन की तरह, एक मेंटर की तरह बहुत से विषयों पर मुझे उंगली पकड़ करके चलाया।
In Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
Let's meet Lok Sabha MP from Mumbai Northeast, Kirit Somaiya this time.
भेलपुरी हो या पानी पूरी हो, हर मुंबई वाले को पसंद है।
अगर आप राजनीति में नहीं होते तो आज वड़ा पाव ही बेचते।
बेचता कहीं लेकिन खाता जरूर। Watch me on It's My Life, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Gyan Chopper is the ancient version of Indian snakes and ladders. This intriguing game was popular among the old, the young and the rulers as well. The chopper has its origin in the Jain philosophy. It tells the story of virtue, symbolized by the ladders, rewarded, while the vices shown by the snakes are punished. Each square, in turn, also narrates some message of wisdom.
Welcome back. Now, an update on the political crisis in Nepal. Well, a day after Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli put in his papers, President Bidya Bhandari on Monday called on all the political parties to elect a new premier through consensus. Now, if that fails, after 7 days, the President will again ask the parties to form a majority government. While Nepali Congress and the Maoist Centre have already agreed to form a new government under Prachanda, the country's second and the fourth largest parties in the parliament, namely CPN UML and RPP Nepal, have not extended their support to him. After the resignation of KP Sharma Oli, the leader of Nepal's former Maoist rebel movement looks set for a comeback as the Prime Minister. The Nepali Congress and the Maoists are in talks on forming government led by Pushpa Kamal Dahal or Prachanda. The developments came after President Bidya Devi Bhandari met with the top leaders of three biggest political parties of the country to forward the new government formation process, giving them 7 days to reach a political consensus.
अहिले अविश्वासको प्रस्तावमाथि छलफल सकिसकेपछि के हुन्छ भन्ने हेर्न त अझै बाँकी छ। त्यसकारण सबै बारेपछि सकारात्मक ढंगले छिटो निकास दिने प्रक्रियामा नै जान्छ भन्ने विश्वास चाहिँ राष्ट्रपतिको छ।
Earlier, Oli's government was relegated to a minority after key ally, Communist Party of Nepal Maoist Centre, led by Dahal, withdrew support. Oli announced his resignation in an address to Parliament shortly before he was to face a no-trust vote jointly registered by the Nepali Congress and the Maoists. Oli is accused of not reneging on power-sharing deal and not handling Madheshi protest properly. Oli's likely successor, Kamal Dahal, who will be Nepal's 9th Prime Minister in a decade, is seen leaning more towards India.
श्री केपी शर्मा ओली के प्रधानमंत्री रहते हुए भारत के और नेपाल के रिश्ते बहुत खराब हो गए थे। उनके चले जाने के बाद जो सरकार अस्तित्व में आएगी, भारत और नेपाल के रिश्तों को सुदृढ़ करने के लिए काम करेगी, ऐसा हमारा विश्वास है।
Though Dahal or Prachanda is set to become the new Prime Minister, he might not be able to form a government based on consensus, as the CPN, UML and RPP Nepal, the second and fourth largest parties in Parliament, are unlikely to extend support to him. If political parties fail to reach consensus on forming a new government, Parliament will begin the process of electing a new Prime Minister on the basis of a majority vote. If he does seal his comeback, however, one of Dahal's first key tasks will be to finally implement a new constitution and resolve protests in Nepal's southern plains. With Bureau Inputs, this is Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV. News from Japan, where 19 people have been killed in a knife attack at a care center for people with mental disabilities. Now, the attack west of Tokyo happened in the early hours today. Another 26 people were injured, 20 seriously. Now, it is the worst mass killing in Japan since the end of World War II. The police arrested a man who allegedly admitted to the killing at a nearby police station shortly afterwards. The 26-year-old, a former employee of the care facility, named in local media as Satoshi Umatsu, is reported to have told police that he wanted disabled people to disappear. The facility where the attack happened is a care center set on extensive grounds with separate living quarters for men and women. It had about 160 residents at the time of the attack. Reports say the attacker entered the facility at about 2:30 local time and began stabbing people inside. 8 staff members were on duty at the time. News from the US, where tensions are running high in Philadelphia as the Democratic Convention got underway. The 4-day convention to nominate Hillary Clinton for the White House witnessed a furore over embarrassing leaked emails. Now, more than 19,000 emails showed that party officials working to undermine the insurgent presidential campaign of Clinton's primary rival, US Senator Bernie Sanders. The US says that Russia engineered the release of the sensitive Democratic Party emails in order to influence the US presidential election. Now, Sanders urged his supporters to back Hillary Clinton, but drew jeers from his supporters. Now, some of his backers are reluctant to get behind Clinton. Let's get you some more international news in World Wrap. An explosives-laden car blew up on Monday in a heavily policed district in the center of Syrian capital Damascus. The explosion took place in front of a 10-story building in the Kafr Sousse district southwest of Damascus. The blast hit a heavily policed area where some of the country's main security installations are based. More than 60,000 people were evacuated as heavy rains hit Lingshu County in Shuangzuan city of North China's Hebei province. On Monday, authorities were working to rebuild a 200-meter stretch of road that would restore access to the village cut out of the flooding since Saturday. The Syrian man who blew himself up in Ansbach in Germany on Sunday made a video pledging allegiance to the leader of the Islamic State. The man threatened a revenge attack on Germans in the video. The Islamic State has claimed it was behind the attack and the Syrian was indeed an IS soldier. On to some sports news now. In the Indian Wrestling Federation backed Rio-bound wrestler Narsingh Yadav, whose Olympic participation is in serious doubt after a failed dope test. Now, WFI president has said that the federation believes Narsingh is innocent and will support him to the hilt. He hoped Narsingh would get a clean sheet in the final NADA hearing that will take place on Wednesday. A day after India's Rio Olympics bound wrestler Narsingh Yadav tested positive for a banned steroid, the Wrestling Federation of India threw its weight behind Narsingh Yadav, saying the grappler is a victim of conspiracy. Doubting foul play, WFI President Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh said that Federation believes Narsingh is innocent and will support him to the hilt. Singh also hoped Narsingh Yadav would get a clean sheet in the final NADA hearing on Wednesday, the result of which is expected the next day.
अगर नरसिंह यादव ने किसी भी शक्तिवर्धक दवा का प्रयोग किया होता तो वो स्पेन के टूर्नामेंट से लड़ने से बचने की कोशिश करते। ऐसा नरसिंह यादव ने नहीं किया और वहां पर भी वो मेडल लेकर के आए। एक महीने के अंदर 3 बार डोप टेस्ट होना किसी खिलाड़ी का ये भी कहीं न कहीं संदेह पैदा करता है।
However, his participation at the Rio Games is in serious doubt as he is facing a provisional suspension by the sports authority.
नरसिंह यादव को प्रोविजनली सस्पेंड किया हुआ है और अगर पैनल उनको एक्सोनरेट कर देता है, उनको ठीक पाता है तो वो फिर दोबारा से टीम के अंदर शामिल हो जाएंगे।
In his defense, Narsingh said his supplements and water had been sabotaged. He further claimed that he had undergone around 25 to 30 drug tests in his 15-year career as a professional freestyle wrestler and had come out clean every time.
ओलंपिक्स इतने पास है और मैं उसकी इतनी अच्छी तैयारी कर रहा हूँ तो मैं डोप क्यों लूँगा। और जैसे कि मेरा रूम पार्टनर का भी डोप पॉजिटिव आया है तो उसका तो कोई कंपटीशन ही नहीं है, तो उस जानबूझकर हमारे किसी खाने में या किसी सप्लीमेंट में किसी ने प्लानिंग के थ्रू किया है तो इसकी उसे जांच होनी चाहिए और मुझे रियो ओलंपिक्स भेजा जाना चाहिए।
Meanwhile, the National Anti-Doping Agency NADA had confirmed that the wrestler's roommate and training partner Sandeep Yadav also tested positive for the same banned substance.
मैंने फेडरेशन को दिया है जिससे मुझे डाउट है, सबका नाम लिख के भी, और मैंने लिखित में दिया कि मेरे साथ साजिश की गई है और मैंने आज तक ना कभी डोप लिया है और ये सब कुछ मुझे जानबूझकर फंसाया जा रहा है और इसकी तह तक जाना जरूरी है।
Narsingh took India's berth in the 74-kilogram category at the Rio Games by winning a bronze medal at last year's World Championships in Las Vegas. However, his spot was put in jeopardy when Sushil Kumar, who won a bronze in the 66-kilogram category in Beijing and a silver in London, moved up in weight and asked for a bout between the pair to determine who should compete in Rio. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. That's all in this edition of news, but Kargil Divas is being celebrated across the country. It is on this day in 1999 that the Indian Armed Forces, as a part of Operation Vijay, recaptured Indian posts in Kargil, which had been occupied by Pakistan's army. Since then, this day has been observed annually to commemorate the sacrifices made by soldiers in this war. We leave you with these visuals from Dras in Kashmir. Thanks for watching.